Welcome to our new monthly podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Legally Accountable. That's right. Just like the political landscape, we are shifting and changing and coming up with new conspiracy theories every day. And our latest one is that weekly podcasts are kind of a fraud. So we're going to do them once a month from now on to give you the best content possible. So here we are, the week before Thanksgiving. We have a new president-elect, but the same old guys hosting this podcast. And right beside me is Charlie Morocco. Uncle Charlie, say hi to everyone out there.
Good morning. Good morning, all.
Yes.
Charlie, well, depends when they're listening, right? I can say anything I want there, right?
Yeah, it could be good afternoon. Could be late at night, too.
Could be anytime they want it to be on a podcast.
We got a special guest with us today, Ryan Harbinson. I'm going to let him go off and introduce himself. He is incredibly interesting. To say he is a brand builder, a handshaker, a deal maker, and he's going to rock your world and change your life. But before we begin, I want to give some of my weekly updates. In this case, it will be a monthly update. For my listeners in New Jersey, hopefully you know by now that New Jersey Governor Philip Murphy signed Executive Order 192. And that went into effect, I want to say 2 weeks ago. It's important for you guys to know as employers and business owners because it creates even more requirements for you health and safety wise. So just to give you a 500-foot view, the most important change besides, everyone has to wear a mask. You have to give people breaks to wash their hands. Hopefully you were doing that anyway, or just make sure they have hand sanitizer handy. For me, the biggest change in this executive order was that it's requiring all businesses to do screening. So if you're having people come into the office, they have to do some form of health screening before they do and submit their report to you. So what I'm recommending all my clients do is there's a website called sparrow.com. They answer a few questions, take a screenshot, gives them the green go ahead to come to work, send that to you. You as the employer are going to want to keep all those in case you get audited, because guess what? If you don't follow this Executive Order 192, you're going to get fined and you may even go to jail for up to 6 months. I highly doubt that would happen, but the fines are going to happen, and New Jersey Department of Labor already opened up a website that employees can go on and lodge complaints. We all know how much employees love to complain. So please, please, please be careful. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. And other than that, I'm gonna jump over to Charlie, and then I want to get Ryan in the conversation ASAP. Charlie, talk to me.
So you're telling me that we haven't been in jail in 2020. I thought this was jail.
I was going to say, sounds like beautiful beginnings of medical tyranny at its finest, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
things are going to get worse before they get better, and I think this is a sign of that. To me, what was most troubling about this executive order is that he did it so quickly. And it's one thing for a smaller company, right, like Loletta Birnbaum or CLM to implement these requirements, but imagine being a large company.
Imagine being a Campbell's soup.
Right. Well, you know what? But then again, I think to myself, if I'm Campbell fucking soup, I'm mushroom gravy all day.
Yeah.
So, but true. If you're Campbell soup, you need to be doing this. And if not, the fines are going to add up very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think we all realize how quickly we need to change. When things come out, we need to be reading, we need to be aware. And it's a sign of our times. I just hope it slows down, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get through this COVID thing. Hopefully, maybe next spring, this thing is going to be a distant memory. Hopefully these vaccines really get us to where we want to get to, and we can all get back to a totally normal life. But it may change the way that the speed in which we need to change and which government expects us to change, right? Because they saw us do it. Now they might expect us to be able to do it.
That's the problem. And everyone's so adaptable so quickly, and then they don't realize that, plexiglass and plywood is through the roof in pricing because everyone needs it and there's not enough to go around too. And then they're expecting people to spend $60 a sheet for a piece of plywood, and they're trying to even just make the weekly bills and payroll, let alone try to adapt to what's going on.
Right. I don't know that the government is going to have as much leeway to make people act this quickly, because don't forget, all of this legislation, all of these executive orders are being brought under the guise of a declared public health emergency. So hopefully when that's over, when this ends, which we all know it will end, that the ability to kind of create those swift executive orders, I think, will be limited from a legal standpoint, which will be. But
Dan, who has the ability to issue these orders?
the governor, but a lot of them doing under the extra powers granted to him because of the public health emergency.
Right, and so much power has gone to government officials based on this that hopefully we get back to normal and we realize that this is a special time and that's why you got these powers. And then after this, you don't have them anymore. We got to hope, right? We just gotta hope.
And the governors are taking advantage of it more than anybody. The power of the governors has gone a little crazy. So,
well, I'm not sure they've really been given enough direction federally, but that's a conversation for my other podcast, Pokes and Politics by Dan Blanchard. And that one I do by myself, semi-nude. So that's not, you have to subscribe, go to my fans page, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to subscribe to that one. I'll stay away from that one as far as I can.
But Charlie, do you have any updates from the financial world?
You know what? I don't, because everything is so in limbo. Nothing is concrete enough for me to put it out. And if it is, I missed it. So let's move on to our guest. He's the reason for this week's show and the reason we exist in the world today.
Yourself, because one thing, let me give a little background to our guests. One of the reasons why Ryan really is the perfect guest for this show is because he is somebody that has built a career out of helping people manage their businesses, grow their businesses, and grow their brands. And I think most importantly, connecting people to one another. And those are three things that are going to make your business successful no matter what you're dealing with, but I think most specifically now. So Ryan, shaking hands and building brands, Harbinson, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invite. Really love the opportunities. Charlie and I have known each other for a long time. And Dan, I feel like I already know you for many years, my friend. So very nice to be here today.
Yeah. I'm just getting to know myself personally, but I'm glad that you feel that way.
Is that your boy band picture that you just showed?
No, that's my the picture that just popped up. No, that's my Eddie Munster picture.
Oh, Eddie Munster. I like that too.
Nice. I have one child. Now I have 3 kids. I look a little different. I still look great, obviously, but most of that is the antidepressants. So all right, but Ryan, kick it off. Tell us what you do, who you are. Sure. You've known Charlie for a long time, which is, both, I think, a good thing and a bad thing. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what makes you interesting.
Yeah, sure. So again, Ryan Harbinson with Clearbridge Branding Agency. So we are a full service marketing firm over here in South Jersey. Really a group of industry vets have come together to kind of start something special. So we really put together a good group of people with, we've got people that have worked for Fortune 500 companies. We've got one of our VP of marketing is an expert writer for Forbes. Our branding has gone from, experience with Goldman Sachs, Cooper, and many other large companies. So we're kind of a different animal in these parts. Really what we focus on is really understanding who and what it is you're trying to tell, right? So branding, creative, marketing, messaging, who that target audience looks like, and then really everything from TV, radio, video, SEO, social web. So everything from your email signature all the way to billboards and everything in between is what we cover, and it's a great time to kind of be in that world just because of the situations that we're in. Traffic is up through the roof. So internet traffic's up like 300%, which is really insane to think about. But really the opportunities to get in front of the right people have really exploded because everybody's in front of the machine now. So it's really, it's easier to get your message out to the right audience more than ever. So.
Right. People are looking at the same thing. Whereas before you had to go to a lot of different mediums, and now everyone is on their phone. Everyone is on the internet.
Correct.
Do you do any political stuff too, or is all the branding you do for your typical company, like a typical
Yeah,
business?
we don't really mess with too much of the politics side. We kind of just toe the line, every side of down the middle of the aisle. So not a lot of politics stuff, unfortunately.
Okay. So who is your typical client?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's really nice about us, right? So we kind of have this Manhattan and New York City kind of feel, but right here in the middle of South Jersey. So in our world, what happens is eventually when you're around for so long is that you eventually become known as the company X that works with financials or with
Right.
education and all that. And for us, we've got young walls, but old talent, right? So the average experience for teams is about 22 years. So right now we've actually got a really big net that's out there. But we do really well in the food world. So food packaging and processing is really good for us. We had a company that came to us that was creating these salads. They didn't know what to do with them, what to call them, or where to go. And long story short, we came up with the brand, gave them a name, got them in pretty much every Costco in America, and we won some awards for that. For
What?
those
Can you
stuff,
share that, or can you not share the name?
Oh yeah, it's Sunnyside Farms down in Millville. So
I know Sunnyside Farms. That's
yeah,
awesome. You not only brought it to the market, but you decided how you're going to get it there and who they're going to be with.
yeah. So they were doing some food for other companies, and then kind of had their own child that they kind of created, and they were like, "We have this. I don't know where to go." So they brought us in, and we were able to kind of give it a name, give it legs, and help them get into major retail. So it's really exciting.
How are they doing now with food shortages and travel restrictions?
Yeah, everybody is adapting, and it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? I think the name of the game is really adaptation, and how are you pivoting to understand the next way to either evolve the business or understand where the market has gone. So you see a lot of people like shifting into like actually shipping right now, right? Is really the way to go. I mean, unfortunately, small business can't be open, but Amazon is up like 3,300% in revenue this year. So, which is insane.
It is insane. Do you guys know the brand Supreme?
Oh yeah,
Do you hear that sold today for $2 billion?
it's insane.
$2 billion. They sell like 300 sweatshirts every couple months.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like the hard to get, like limited quantity things, and when they're, I mean, now you look at it now, like everything is so mass produced, and if you have this element and this brand that only creates so much, the demand, it's just, I mean, it's insane what people are going to buy. I mean, look at right now what's going on with like the new consoles coming out, right? So like you got PlayStation and Xbox just came out, and it's like you could go on eBay right now and see them, and people are trying to sell them for $2,000, and I guarantee you people are buying video game systems for $2,000 just because they can't get them and they want them right now.
All right, Charlie, wake up. Charlie's over here rubbing his eyes, worried about.
No, he's sad because he was on the PS5 list, and they told him, "Sorry, sir, you're gonna have to wait till November."
I still play my PS3, so I'm
Nothing. Hey,
no.
PS3 is a great one.
I do. I have PS3 and I have my Nintendo. So those are the two things that I play. And Wii, I do Wii golf. So
nice.
I like that.
Hey, don't hate on Wii Bowling. Wii Sports is a great game, man.
Yeah, Wii Sports was one of the best games ever. Tecmo Bowl, that was a good one. That's way before your guys' time. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, first off, if you look in the back corner, the Tecmo Bowl is on the shelf. Okay, right.
Wow, all right, I like that. That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
Oh no, Ryan is like the original gamer, Charlie. Like he had a very extensive background in games and creating games, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I worked for a publisher for many years, and got about 100 games under my belt for Nintendo and PlayStation. We did a lot of licensed titles with Yamaha and Honda, Garfield, Bigfoot, monster trucks, and then also started a software development studio with two of my buddies, and we got two games published that we created on Nintendo DS. So
wow,
that's pretty cool.
Nope, we missed you, Dan.
Is that for you?
He must be getting bleeped by Devin.
I know. One more time.
Can you hear me?
There you go. You're back.
So creating games, you still do that with a different company, with your own company?
No, I have retired.
Okay.
As of actually this Thanksgiving, I'll be retired from the game world, from the dev side for about 3 years now. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you
Dev.
write the code, or were you like the creative guy?
So I was creative director and COO. So I was able to get us meetings with like Vision, Nintendo, and Sony and Microsoft at some big shows out in LA and the California area, being on the wrong coast in this small little studio of like 12 people in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey, utilizing the great power of a little social media called LinkedIn. I was able to get us in the door with some pretty powerful people. I've been on the platform for about 13 years and have really learned how to utilize uh, the information that's put out there from people. So
Well,
pretty
that's a
awesome.
great bit. I mean, for the show and topic, because one of your, your expertise, that you are sold to me as, is a LinkedIn expert, right? How to really leverage LinkedIn to connect people. So tell our audience a little bit about that, because that's something that businesses, business owners, employers, employees, everyone can use to their.
Sure. Yeah. So, I think the first thing when everybody hears LinkedIn, they're like, why would I want to go on a boring Facebook business page? And, LinkedIn is evolved immensely. In the early days, yes, it was like everyone's out here hard selling. But I think what happens is that you've got to realize um, who the audience is, what the platform that you're on, and what the message is that you're trying to put out there, right? So example, so I go to a restaurant, right? And I know the owners. My content's going to be a little bit different based on what platform I'm posting on. So if I'm going to post a picture on Facebook, I'm going to take like a selfie with everybody at the table, right? Like, yeah, what's
Right.
up? Having a great dinner. If I'm on Instagram, I'm going to probably want to take a picture of my plate and being like, look how delicious this food looks. And if I'm
Right.
going to take the same picture on LinkedIn, I'm going to take a picture with the owners that I know, right? So it's the same message, but it's a different post based on the audience that I'm trying to get in front of. And with LinkedIn, I think what it is that people hesitate and overthink the content that they want to put out, that they just don't put any content out at all. And I think that's a big red flag that everybody deals with, right? So I say it all the time. Some content is better than no content. And if you can't create content, or you're having a hard time understanding what it is you want to put in there, become a share maniac, right? There's people out there that are spending millions and millions of dollars creating content that you can just share and put into your feed, right? So if you're in a certain industry and there's certain people that are the tycoons of that world, utilize the content that they're doing. As I say all the time, right? Utilize other people's content as your own.
Is
That's
there
the name of the game.
term of art, like, are they like a share whore? Could we call it something more interesting?
I was gonna say share whore. I always like share like you're on steroids,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So
I like that.
share whore is great. I mean, I love that. Or
Okay.
a share slut is always good too.
So Ryan, based on your thought process then for your LinkedIn, are you of the mindset have as many people connected on LinkedIn as possible, or make sure that it's people who you know who they are, who
Great
you're
question.
trying to influence? Like, what's your mindset on that?
Yes. So I mean, for me, it's a tight niche mark, right? So I've got close to 1,000 people. Out of those 1,000 people, I know around 94% of those people that I can pick up the phone and be like, yeah, what's up? Facebook, totally different story. I'll be friends with everybody. I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Like everybody, right? So part of the issue is that it's understanding who it is you're trying to do, right? So with LinkedIn, I'm trying to put that message out there, and I want the people that see that message to be the people that know who I am, because now when I'm in people's feeds, it has a better way to either get more traction, have people be more aware of who I am, or bring them to my profile, because that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm putting content out to bring people to my profile to then reach out to those people to create opportunities. With Facebook, I'm utilizing Facebook as a what's up? Here I am. And you never know who's going to like something and see it. But it all depends, on your mentality, right? So I know people that utilize Facebook the same way, where it's a very tight niche community. But when I had my software company and we were doing Kickstarters, and we had a retail component that we sold board games with as well, that was all part of the store. The more people I could be friends with, the more people saw our message of come to the store, buy things, or hey, come support our Kickstarter, or hey, this is what's going on in our town. With LinkedIn, I really want my message to be heard from the people that can help me grow, financially, network wise, or just be aware of what I'm doing.
So if I think of that, I think of 3 categories where it could be really useful, right? One, as an employee, if I'm trying to get clients for my business, I can use LinkedIn. What if I'm recently unemployed, which unfortunately a lot of people are,
Right.
I could LinkedIn to try to expand my network to find a job.
Correct.
Or if I'm a business owner, right, I can attract people to my product. Do you have is there different advice you would give to those 3
So let's start with all 3 of those. So I would say the first one, if you're just like a random salesperson that's out there on LinkedIn, right? I think the first thing you need to know is, what does your network actually look like? Okay. So part of it is growing those people, as I call it, your core 6. Who are those 6 to 10 people that you have developed relationships that have become more of your friends, but also you do business with, right? Then there's those 6 people that are actually involved in your day-to-day sales. So when I make a sale, there's most likely 6 other people that can benefit from that sale. So who are those referral partners that can be utilized, that can also be part of those other 6 people as well? Once you develop that, then what happens is that you can then start to grow those people and understand how big their network looks like, right? A friend of a friend of a friend kind of deal. If you're going out there and you're just sitting out there and you're trying to cold sale everybody, typing up stuff like, internet traffic is up 300%. And here at Clearbridge Branding Agency, we can help you your website. Like, nobody gives a shit about that. I'm sorry, they just don't. Right. The name of the game is to stay top of mind. Right. Me, I'm not going to go and find Charlie's a great person for me. I'm going to try to hard sell Charlie in a LinkedIn messenger and be like, good afternoon, sir Charlie. Did you know that internet traffic is like, it just doesn't work that way. No one wants to be hard sold. Right. It's all about low and slow. Right. As I call it, the crock pot mentality, right? It's all about the long con in the end, right? But doing that is staying relevant, right? First to mind, live in the feed. That's the name of the game, right? And what you have to do is you have to understand that mentality can only happen if you have great culture. So if the culture of the company understands that, hey, you might not make any sales for a couple months because we know that you're out there just planting seeds, that's the only way you're going to grow. Because if not, then all you're going to do is you're just going to be pushing for numbers, trying to sell, and just pushing these things that have developed zero relationship. And when I'm selling these guys, yes, I'm making my numbers and I'm hitting my goals. But as soon as that person gets somebody else, they're gone and they're out the door, right? I want to develop those relationships. So that's really the name of the game with the salespeople.
When you say like stay in the feed, and you can do that by sharing content,
sharing, commenting, liking, it all appears in the feed when it comes through, right? Okay. That's all it is. So if you can't create content, become engaged, right? So content is king, engagement is queen. All right. So if you can't do one, do the other. So then just comment, like, and share on everybody's stuff, and people will see that you're always involved in that. All right. As for the people that don't have a job, right, which sucks. But if you have that core group of people, right, what I would do is a couple things. One, I would just make a video resume, 30 seconds. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is where I was at. And this is why you should hire me.
Well, I've never heard of a video resume. Charlie, have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
You little freak.
I mean, put yourself out there, right? Because then what you do is you can tag all those people that are your core 6 and say, hey, I'm going to tag you guys in my post. If you could, please share it out or please go through. And actually, if you want to do me an even better favor, why don't you share my thing and type a message why they should hire me? Or maybe you could do a video for me that says why people should hire me.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of videos happening.
That's another reason why you should be sharing and liking other people's stuff, because if you're doing that, they're going to share and like your stuff, right? And people rescind, and again, like you said, when you like or you share, and this is the remarkable stuff. And I'm an old dude, so me trying to understand this stuff is tough, but I see it, right? When you see something come across that someone else shared, the first thing you read is who shared it, right? You don't even read the article yet. You see, Ryan Harbison shared this, right? So now Ryan's got his name out there. And what did he do? He helped Dan Blanchard get his message out regarding human resource law. Now he's got that out there. Wow, that's great. Now you have two people. Now someone else's eyes saw the article. Now they're thankful for you that you got this over to them. So it kind of, like you said, it's a way to do so much more with so little time, right?
Yeah.
And now it's hard to network, right? So the social network is where it's at, right? You have to be able to have this stuff to be out there, because you can't, there's not, as those winter come, I feel like we're like in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Right? Jon Snow, the winter's coming, right? We are going to be stuck in a place where if we're not figuring this stuff out and how to be connected and how to make connections and how to be with people, we're going to get lost. So I think it really is important. And I see guys like you, Ryan, Devin, our producer who works for us, she's great at it. Those people are, continue. And it's like you guys call it a contact calendar, right? It's just a matter of just getting something out there, having a regular day and just say, hey, what do I want to put out there? It doesn't have to be anything great. It could just be, hey, this, just thinking about business owners today. Boom.
Not even that. And I say this all the time, right? There's a big difference between culture content and corporate content, right? So no one cares that APRs and rates and things have never been lower ever. But if I wake up and go, hey, good morning, everybody, I got my coffee today, little cream, little sugar. How do you take yours? Hey, if we haven't caught up, let's catch up soon. Thanks. Done. Post. Put it out.
Oh, you're right now. That sounds amazing. I like it. And and when you said the calendar, because what I try to do is I structure, if I can, which is easier to do now because there's no more court. On Fridays, I try to do a lot of that stuff, right? Like share something on LinkedIn or make a comment somewhere or push content. I think if you're the type of person like me, set aside, do it Friday morning, right? And then you're still doing one thing a week. You're pushing content out there. And like you said, you're bringing yourself to the fore of people's minds, which is always helpful. And you want to be that person where they think, oh, okay, I have X problem or I need Y product. Who do I call? You know what? Let me call Ryan. Ryan said something funny about coffee. Let me call Ryan.
That's it. First in mind, live in the feed. It's the name of the game. It's the long con. It really is. I'm telling you, anybody that's out there hard selling, especially during these times, even from the beginning, if you're not jumping on a Zoom call with somebody that you've never met or someone that you have met, and the first thing you're doing is going in and you're hard selling, you don't understand how it works. You walk in and you go, hey, what's up? How's business? What are the 3 industries that you kick ass in? Let me know. Okay, you do good in this. I'm going to introduce you to Devin and Dan and Charlie. Okay, I'm going to put those out for you later. Oh, what? You want to do a website? Oh, I wasn't even expecting that. Okay, I guess we'll write something up for you. I mean, that's it. If you're going in expecting sales and you're not giving, for every 12 gives, you get an ask. That's just the name of the game. It's just how it works.
Well, that's what I think a lot of people don't realize, right? So even on sales calls, if I've got a warm lead, I don't start off with, like you said, even on a warm lead, I first want to find out, who is this person? What are they about?
What's the situation?
Can we work together? Are we similar? Can we help each other out? Then we'll figure out the business side. Like, hey, right? It's developing relationships, and I think that's where people miss. It's not selling a product; it's developing relationships. And if you develop relationships well, the business will come. You don't even have to do the sell. In fact, many times the sell is not even necessary on the first call, even on a sales call. It'll happen. If it's meant to happen, the sale will happen. People think the sale has to be like, you got to do that close. And yeah, you do have to do the close eventually, right? You can't just wallow around and never go to the close, right? You have to explain what it is you do, why your firm does it well, and then figure out, are we the right approach for you, right? Is our approach right for you, right? Because if you pick up a bad client, right? Not even a bad client, a good client, a good person who's not right for your product and the way you guys serve it, that'll be bad. That'll be bad advertising out there, right? You want to try to find who you can help, and you won't always be able to help everyone. Sometimes you think you can, but if you go out there with that mindset, and I love what you said, and it's the same thing with sharing, right? you're sharing to help somebody else. If you're sharing just to help yourself, it isn't going to work. But if you start to share to help somebody else, if you make connections for other people, those connections will come back to you. And that's key.
Because think about this, right? So I share something out for Dan, right? And I don't do a blind share, which is just share, right? I write something like, hey,
Okay.
great information, check this out, or whatever you want to write. Don't ever do just a blind share. So I put this out. Now I've got content, right? So now that content now is going to get likes and comments. So now what happens is that people say, oh, wait, Harb shared something from Dan. Who is this guy, Dan? Boom. Now they're on Dan's profile. Okay. And then what happens is that now Dan is getting likes, comments on my feed. So then Dan can go check out my share, check out everyone who liked it, look through those people and say, hey, Harv, I see that you've got 1, 2, and 3 and that you're connecting them. Can you introduce them to me? Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up? Boom. Here you go. And they go, oh, hey, I remember your content. That's how it works, man. Stay on.
No, I understand that. I think what I'd love for our listeners is, we're 3 outgoing guys, right? So, but not everyone is. Not everyone. That makes some people feel profoundly uncomfortable, I think.
Outgoing. I've left my house 4 times in 20
Yeah,
years.
but still, I mean, I'm in lockdown mode too. But you and I usually we're at a networking event, right?
Yeah.
Every once or twice a week. And we can't do that anymore. But I have no problem Facebook, messaging someone on LinkedIn I don't know. A lot of people do. So I like that idea of starting off small, right? Starting off with sharing something from someone you went to college with. It doesn't have to be in the same industry you're in.
Oh,
right?
The college thing is great. If you ever want to go cold, just find people that went to the same school as you and just be like,
Yep.
hey, what's up? I saw you went to Temple. Me too. We should just get a coffee. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. And then you don't get the coffee. You have them waiting for you till the last trip. And then you give them the coffee.
Goddamn right you do.
Yeah. Now the last thing I was asking you about.
You know what? I want to go back to that.
Go back.
Because you know what? I think sometimes when people see outward people like the 3 of us, and you're right, we're kind of like those really out there people. They think that you're not nervous at all. They think that you don't feel rejection. You do fear rejection, right? But the problem is that if you don't accept the rejection, you're never going to get anywhere else. So if someone doesn't respond back to your asking to get a cup of coffee, oh, well, they're not interested in meeting with you. Move on. It's not like high school. They're going to go tell people, he asked me for a cup of coffee. Who does he think he is? Like, that doesn't happen. Like, get rid of those fears. Just shoot like an email out. Like, I keep saying email. I'm so old. Like, smoke signals out after you use Morse code. That's me, right? That's what I am. So.
I mean, I always say it's not no, it's just not now.
There you go. And you don't always have to say yes to everyone right away either. That's another thing. If you don't have the time or you're too busy, explain that. Let them move on. Don't hold them hostage. Sometimes you're not out there. You don't have time for everyone. Sometimes it's not the right approach. You could say that too, and you can still help them out. Hey, I'm not the right guy from you, but here's someone I think you should talk to. Boom.
Do it all the time.
Let me ask you a technical question. How do you like tag someone on LinkedIn?
You just the sign and then type in their name.
Okay.
And you can tag them in a picture, or you tag them in the post, or you can tag them in a comment.
Man, you got to teach me this one. The @@ symbol and the pound sign.
No, not the pound sign. That's hashtag. That's different. We'll talk about that later.
Hashtag, right?
So you're gonna do the @ sign, and then you're gonna then type in the person's name, and it'll tag them in the picture.
Anyway, you can type it anyway. So you can do @Charlie Morocco. And if I
spell tag yourself in the picture, whatever you want to do.
Right, but what happens if I spell your name wrong? Does it work?
It won't pop. It won't pop up. Like prime example, right? We have an event coming up for one of the chambers I'm a part of, and I tagged all the board members in the post because I wanted them all to like, comment, and share to get more eyeballs on that event.
That's cool stuff. And when is the hashtag work? Does that useful ever or no?
Yeah, well, hashtags is if you're trying to call out or get involved in a certain industry.
A message, right?
Think of it as like a search engine within social media. So if you wanted to get involved in the Spider-Man community, you would write hashtag Spider-Man, and everybody that wrote Spider-Man, everybody's post would show up, and then you could get involved in that conversation.
Wow. So you said you're in, I think the food distribution or food packaging business.
Yeah.
So if you did food packaging, right? Hashtag.
Yeah,
food
no
packaging.
one's gonna really use food packaging. But for me, I'm using like things like esports. So esports is a big part. So people that play professional video games. So I do a lot of esports. I follow hashtags. So when anybody uses a hashtag, it appears in my feed as if we were actually connected on LinkedIn. So then I'm getting involved in that conversation and then finding out the people that are commenting on those posts and then finding out who likes those posts and then finding those people and then connecting with those people because they're in the industry I'm trying to get involved in.
So what I see sometimes like a hashtag. Is that something too, or is that just like somebody?
Yeah,
like
just people.
like,
That's somebody messed up.
Yeah. Or
I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand this stuff. My kids are great at this stuff. They're like communicating in a whole different language. And I think it's real powerful for anyone just to understand a little bit about what you guys are saying.
Charlie, I mean, I do have a question for you. Was it scary when the World of the Wars came on the radio? Were you guys scared?
Oh yeah, I was definitely afraid, man. Kidding me? It was awesome. We all listened. We had our big radio. It was before TV. We all listened to it. It was a big knob. We turned it, and you had to move it because it would drift out and back. But yeah, Orson Welles, he scared the crap out of me. So
crazy world, man. Crazy world.
Well, speaking of things that scare the crap out of me, it's endings. I hate ending things, but I think we do have to end the podcast at some point. But Ryan, I want out of you one piece of advice. You've given a lot of advice. You've sharing, come to the fore. What's one piece of advice that everyone can take away today?
It's not that hard to be a good person.
All right, that's lame. Think of something else.
Now, I would say the best part is, don't overthink content. Okay. I mean, as simple as telling people what your day looks like, taking a picture of your inbox and deleting that last email and having, nothing left in your inbox, asking questions and creating some sort of engagement is a great way to do it. If you're nervous and you don't like to create content, then remember, content is king, engagement is queen. So it's easier to get involved in the conversation than maybe it is to create the conversation.
Well, I salute you, and I want to tip my crown off to all the kings and queens out there because everyone is wearing a crown. We love you guys. Ryan, thank you for being on the show. Charlie, thank you for joining us. We will see you guys in a month, and I'm going to share the shit out of Ryan's LinkedIn page this week. So.
All right. Remember, find me. #wheresharb. Find me.
And thank you, Devin. Thank you, Devin, for producing.
Bye, Devin. Thank you.
It's a standard. Yeah.
See you guys.